From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, number of deaths in Jos twin explosion rises to 42 as victims recount ordeal. Borno State Governor visits Channels Television, calls for more support in the fight against terrorism. Internally displaced persons demand restoration of peace in the northeast, receive relief materials from Presidential Committee. And computer failure at UK's Air Traffic Control Centre causes widespread disruption of flights.
On business news, the federal government spreads awareness about the Nigeria Industrial Revolution Plan to the southwest.
And on sports news tonight, Angel Di Maria pulls out of Liverpool clash as Manchester United's injury list swells.
We begin with security, where the death toll following twin bomb blasts that rocked Jos Plateau State, North Central Nigeria yesterday has been put at 32. Confirming the casualty figure, the coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency North Central Zone said that 45 persons were also injured in the blast. He told Channels Television that an increase in the casualty figure came about after NEMA officials combed various hospitals where victims were initially taken for treatment following the blast. Some of the patients have also been speaking about how they got caught up in the explosion.
The relative peace that Jos, the capital city of Plateau State, has enjoyed for a while now appears threatened with the twin explosions that rocked the Tin City's commercial center on Thursday, raising more concerns over the security of lives and properties in the city. The suicide bomber's target was the terminus market, where traders engage in night trading, which usually attract a lot of people on their way home after the day's businesses. Mary Enajo has Mother Luck to thank for surviving the blast alongside her 3-year-old daughter. So does another victim.
I went to buy some things to cook with my little daughter. I patronized my friend. Her name is Joy. So I went to her place to buy. So when I got there, they were packing up already. Then a customer came to buy groundnut oil from her. And since her elder sister sells opposite her too, she was helping the elder sister. So I stood up. I kept my daughter. She was eating sugarcane. So I stood up to pick the groundnut oil to help her sell to the customer. That was when I heard the explosion and I saw myself on the ground.
We went there to buy meat, to park at the roadside. I thought to buy meat and washing. And when we were going there, my brother told me that in this kind of place you don't want to be coming here. On Shettima, we were concluded I gotten meat we went to buy it, and we shared everything. Even I was the person I was moving like this, to put it inside the bag. So all of a sudden we had the glass behind us. Everybody walked down. I found myself down.
The National Emergency Management Agency has been explaining what it has been doing to get records of the actual damage from the incident, especially the casualty figure.
When the incident happened, majority of the victims were taken to unknown hospitals, and we felt for proper coordination and proper treatment activities to take place, we need to mop up all those hospitals and gather them in popular hospitals where they will be receiving attention from specialists. And that is the situation now. And we've just gone around to see their conditions in all the 3 hospitals, and we observe that they have stabilized and they are responding to treatment.
Plateau Specialist Hospital, Bengal Teaching Hospital, and Our Lady of Apostles have been treating victims for various degrees of injuries, and they have placed all their medical personnel on emergency duty. Meanwhile, The affected area has been cordoned off by security personnel as members of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, as well as the anti-bomb squad, are still maintaining surveillance around the scene of the blast.
Fighting insurgency demands the right information and a more professional way in handling mass communication. This appears to be well understood by the governor of Borno State, one of the states that is under constant attack by the Boko Haram sect. Governor Shettima today visited Channels Television's headquarters in Lagos in company of some of his cabinet members and was received by the chairman and chief executive officer, Mr. John Mamo. He also solicited the support of the station in the fight against the insurgency. Before ending his tour, the governor spoke about what's needed to tackle the insurgency that's left thousands of Nigerians homeless and hundreds more dead.
Issues at stake goes beyond politics. It goes beyond religion or region. We are living in very, very interesting times. And interesting times like these calls for sobriety, calls for patience, for tolerance, for magnanimity of spirit, and for a renewed drive and commitment. This is the time when all Nigerians should coalesce into a single cause, irrespective of differences in religious persuasions, political affiliations, tribal or sectional background, because Nigeria belongs to all of us. Hence my decision to stay out of the political terrain for quite some time. I try to avoid making explosive political statements deliberately, not that I am incapable of doing. I am a politician, but I believe the issues at stake goes beyond politics. Let us unite and defeat terrorism. Let us unite and save this country. It belongs to all of us. Are we going to bequeath to future generations a land wrapped by extremism, by sheer lunacy, by madness? Are we going to allow a part of our country to be run by some medieval idiots, or people who have lost every sense of decency, every sense of tolerance, are living in a strong age? So we need to unite. This is my message.
Borno State Governor Shettima staying with security matters. And while victims of the blast in Jos pick up the pieces, others who have suffered attack in the northeast are calling on the government to do more to restore peace to their communities. Representatives of the victims who spoke in Abuja while receiving relief materials from the government say the items from the agencies, churches and individuals alone are not enough to ease their pains. They urge the government to do all it can to enable them return their lives to normal.
4 months after the federal government launched the Victim Support Fund, some of these victims finally got food items from the committee managing the fund in Abuja. According to the executive director of the fund, the relief materials will restore hope to victims who have suffered in the hands of insurgents.
You should see the program and the items distributed today as just the first step of a long journey. We assure the victims of our total support and commitment to assisting you to make a dignified and sustainable recovery. Our mandate, we shall seek the victims' ownership of the process, promote peace, healing, and recovery. We seek to provide physical, psychological, and material support to victims.
Besides the distribution of relief materials, victims are eager to go back to their communities, but they want the government to act and restore peace in the region.
Just expecting food items every day from government to assist us in our lifetime. What we need the government to provide a simple job for us. We need the government to assist us so that we will manage our lifetime. And for those that are in school, we need the government to assist us so that we go back to our villages, to continue our school, continue with our business.
Ina addu'a Allah ubangiji ya gyara ka samu mu koma gidajenmu a garinmu. To gaskiya kam kamar yanda wajiyar wannan ta fada.
The federal government Victim Support Fund targets 50 billion naira to assist victims of Boko Haram in the northeast. Officials say if the fund is properly managed, victims will be reintegrated into the society and return to their normal lives.
Now, although Nigerians at home are feeling the impact of the ongoing insurgency, the issue is dominating discussions outside the shores of the country. In the United States, experts have been brainstorming on the economic impact and consequences of the challenge to neighbor countries and the world. Our reporter in Washington, D.C., Ine Thompson, was at the Peace Game Summit and now reports.
Stability and development of any one country is not just a concern of that country, but of the world. The Peace Game is a program of the United States Institute of Peace. For 2014, the focus is on Nigeria, the activities of Boko Haram, the root of the problem, and possible solution. Understanding the northern region of Nigeria by providing analysis, education, and resources to those working for peace is what has brought diplomats, non-governmental organizations, academics, and interested business organizations here. The approach is to hear all sides, so the Northern Nigeria government, local Nigerian business interests, international NGOs, and even the dreaded Boko Haram group have representation. With this, it's expected that the true picture of what has birthed and sustained the terrorist group will be understood and the seeming elusive solution found.
Frankly, trying to wipe out corruption in general is not the way you want to do it. What you want to do, it seems to me, is create incentives for political leaders to do good projects, and there's going to be some corruption.
Considerations also included the economic threats to neighboring countries, where some Nigerians in the north are displaced too.
What we haven't talked about is the economic crunch that's coming to marginalized and vulnerable populations now. People need economic opportunities and programs now, not even a crop cycle away.
These perspectives are well appreciated by Nigerians represented at the conference, but speaking as insiders, they would prefer more assistance in immediate survival of the communities.
We also expected them to also devote equal or more time on the immediate measures that needs to be taken, particularly on the security side, how the U.S. can assist us in strengthening our military, strengthening our security agencies in order to assist us to combat this insurgency.
I'm still shocked that the voice of the communities, the rural people, whom are being chased away from their village by Boko Haram, their voice is not being heard in all the discussion here.
While the United States Institute of Peace listens to these other perspectives, the next agenda is, however, the implementation of the strategies already discussed here, working with organizations that operate in northern Nigeria. Ine Thompson, Channels Television, Washington, D.C.
In part two, after the break, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs pledges completion and commissioning of the East-West Road early next year. That's in a moment. Do join us again.